I'm Shay, the Digital Program Manager for Progress, Virginia. Or if you're on our email subscriber list, then I'm the person who's been sending you those weekly emails. And today I'm here live and in color to ask you one question. How well do you know your legislators? I'm talking about the senators and the delegates who act on our behalf, listening to our voices in order to make policy to keep Virginia more progressive. Well, whether you know a little bit about your legislator or you know a lot, this next series is perfect for those looking to find out more information about session and their representative in their district. And for those of you in the 85th district, you're up first, as I had the absolute pleasure and honor of interviewing Delegate Price all about her and this year's legislative session. Check it out. Hi, Delegate Price. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here, meeting me today.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I know this is going to be wild. I don't know what to expect, but I know it's going to be wild.
I don't know what to expect, but I'm so excited that you're here. How are you feeling?
I'm okay. Like, I think that's my stock answer. I'm okay. That's what we're going to go with. Everything's fine. The world is literally burning down around us, but it's fine. It's fine.
Definitely burning down. How's your day been going so far with the world burning all around us?
Yeah, so it's going okay. We had a couple of meetings earlier today. I am in Richmond, but it's going well, very productive, and I get to take the evening off. So really excited about that.
Love getting those evenings off. I love that for you. All right. I love your outfit. I'm loving this hair. Let can we tell it? Can we know the inspiration behind this new look today?
Yes, so my braider at the therapy room, Ashley is amazing. And I usually get like low butt length, braids. And I was like, it's gonna be too hot for that. Like, what can we try something different? And she was like, say less. And I love it. It's enough to like, flip when I need to make my point, but not too much. And if it gets too hot, I can pull it up. But yeah, definitely something different. But I'm always trying to find that thing that I love. I love this. Yeah, it's easy.
I love it too. It looks absolutely amazing on you. I'm obsessed
Thank
with
you.
colors. I might need to go that short because as you can see, all this length with this heat, she's
Girl.
sweating.
Understood.
I have to ask, since you've moved into into the new General Assembly building, what's been your favorite part about the new location?
So I'm gonna say two things. My view. Ooh, I don't know if you can see like a little bit of the reflection, but I have a view of the Capitol. So I get to remember why I'm here, focus on that view, lots of sun for the plants. And then also the coffee shop. The team downstairs at the coffee shop is amazing. The coffee is amazing. I get that dirty chai. And those are two wonderful things that we did not have in the Poca. So, or at least I didn't have in Poca. So definitely, and shout out to the team that got this building together. We have televisions, we have so much technology, and I think the best part about that really is the way that the public can engage because of our technology. So I'm loving it. I really am.
I love it too. Folks, if you haven't been touring the General Assembly building, you definitely need to get down there. And speaking as someone who's been in your office, yes, that view is killer. Jealous. Are you an astrology girl?
Little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I am.
Okay. Enough to tell us your big three.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so I'm a Cancer sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Capricorn rising.
Ooh.
And if you know anything about that, yes, I'm moody. And everything that they say about cancers is me. I welcome my girlies that can make decisions. I welcome my girlies that want to do deep dives and cry. But also know that we are cutthroat when it comes time for business. So I am pretty much a textbook girl Cancer.
I love it. Love to hear it. We also have a few similar placements. I have
Oh,
Scorpio in my big three also.
okay.
Ooh.
Maybe
What
that's why we get along.
maybe. What is the sign of your best friend? Can you tell us that?
Okay, so I can remain friends with everybody I need to be friends with. Okay, so my soulmate is a Gemini. Okay,
Ooh,
my bestie from college is a Virgo, and my work bestie is a June Cancer.
okay, okay. I like that. All signs that I really like. Okay.
Yeah.
What about your favorite color?
So that's hard. Okay, so I know, look, don't roll y'all eyes at me. I don't have straight answers for a lot of questions, but anything iridescent or anything neon, pink is a great default, but it's like the glitter, the shimmer, the mermaid, I love that. So like it kind of reflects all the colors, but if I had to choose one, it would be pink.
Okay. I knew it was probably gonna be either pink or green.
I mean, you know.
Okay, what is the best vacation spot you've been to this year?
Okay. So I am terrible at taking vacations, but um the one I think that's been the best ever, I turned 21 at a resort in Boca Raton. And I was with my family, but also on my own a lot at the trip. And I had an amazing time. Those beaches were lovely. I am looking forward to better elections in the future so I can get back to Florida. But Boca Raton was, oh my gosh, my favorite vacation thus far.
Oh my goodness, I wish you would have told me when I was in Florida as
Oh,
a Florida native. I would have went.
I didn't know that. You're from, oh, okay.
All right, where's your next vacation spot?
Oh, see, the way this public life thing works, I will report back after the trip, or y'all can see the pictures on Instagram, but I will not be divulging that information ahead of time. No,
Good. Safety first, okay? When you're not being a badass for our Commonwealth Delegate Price, what do you do in your free time?
so I am still working on the work-life balance. I have a great life partner that is helping me with that. But I will say murder documentaries, um, hard pivot Disney movies.
Okay.
Hanging out with my loved ones. My nephew is my favorite person in the whole wide world. So hanging out with him and my mom and my loved ones. And then when I can't see them in person, FaceTiming with them.
I love that. Family's close to the heart, true to a cancer.
Yes, I was gonna say, I'm so textbook, it's not even funny.
And I was gonna say when you said that you couldn't take a vacation, I was like, true to a cap rising, but I have to
Yeah.
keep it in.
There's, I mean, like, I know some people joke with me that it's hooey fooey, whatever, but like, there's so much to the stuff with astrology, and it just like I don't worship it or anything like that, but I use it to kind of help navigate and like understand why things are the way they are and make changes for the better. Of course, I have things I need to work on, but also the things that I can't change, at least be able to understand it for others.
For sure. That is exactly why I use it too. I feel like it's a great tool for just that.
There you go.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Definitely an introvert. And I know that, people think, but she's so outgoing. Like, so don't forget the definition is where do you get your recharge? Like, where do you get your energy? And my energy is in seclusion and quiet and watching trash TV and just like I will be wherever anybody needs me to be. I'll speak in a room full of 3,000 people, but I will take 3 business days after that to recharge.
And that screams Scorpio moon. I am here for that.
Yep.
Definitely for sure. Did we talk about your guilty pleasures already?
No, not yet.
Ooh.
So yeah, trash TV. And I'm not saying trash is like bad. Like I'm totally fine with it, but like I watch like Bob's Burgers and like Archer and
Not
stuff.
trash. We love
Um, so for what people think a delegate should be doing in their free time, that might be a little different. But I love to laugh. I love to have fun. And I also love to be able to pause it and rewind or watch on captions because, that attention span is not necessarily on that at the time. But yeah, so it's really just things that can make me laugh.
I love that. Are you waking up early or staying in late?
Staying up late.
Okay.
Definitely staying up late.
Okay. Can we
Please
know?
do not ask me for like during session, those 7 o'clock meetings. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but like, I'm not really a grumpy person, but 7 o'clock is wildly ridiculous.
Trust
Wildly ridiculous.
me, I know. We here at Progress Virginia definitely know because we're up watching y'all.
Right. Right. True.
What can we know about your bucket list? Can you give us 3 things that are on there?
Okay, so somebody's gonna call me basic, but I do want to go see the Northern Lights. I missed it the other night when some folks, I think it was one of my delegate friends sent a picture from Northern Virginia. Like, I have too much light pollution where I am, but I want to go see the Northern Lights in like the real, like I want to be on in an igloo, like looking at the Northern Lights. I want to go glamping and hike to a waterfall and oh my God, all of that. And I want to go to a EDM festival in another country.
Ooh, okay. I like all of these things. Another country, do you have ideas about the country that you would go to?
I think like Amsterdam would be
Ooh.
fun, and then not for any of the reasons that people might think, but but I just like, one of my things, it's so sad, but when Avicii was still alive, I definitely had it on my list to go see him. So now I'm thinking like Dead Mouse or somebody, but I just want to feel the energy. I will be completely sober. I'm not judging what anybody else is doing, but I just want to be in that energy and just feel the music in my heart. Like, I just really would love to go to a festival. So I'm not dead set on the country, but I am gonna make it happen. And not in America.
Okay. I feel. What about birthday plans for this year?
Oh girl, I have not gotten that far yet. We just finished with session. Like, I know we could probably talk about that. But no, so my birthday is in July. It is usually too hot to move. So I don't know. I would love to be around family and friends, but I have not made the plans yet.
Okay.
I'll report back on that as well. It might be the vacation plans that I need to report back on. It might coincide.
It might be. What I'm hearing is Delegate Price wants me to plan her birthday. Okay, got it. I'm on it. I'm on the case.
That sounds dangerous.
I will make it so much fun for you.
Okay. Now, don't forget, I just said fun was sitting in my room watching TV. So I don't know.
In the mental mind, I got you. I got
Okay.
you. What about your favorite movie right now? What is that?
Oh my gosh, favorites are so hard. I'll tell you what's on repeat right now. Judas and the Black Messiah is on repeat right now.
Okay.
But on my list, I still have not seen Shirley yet. I need to see that. And there are a couple of others that are on my list. But right now, that's the kind of one that's on repeat.
Okay. All right. Everybody go check that movie out. After a full day in the office, what comfort show are you watching to rewind? Is it Bob's Burgers? Is it
It is either that or Archer. Yeah, I like I said, I just love to laugh, and there's not a lot that happens in this building that is joyful or that I can just laugh at. But I'll tell you another one is oh gosh, what is it? It's with the guy. Oh, this is terrible, but it's a podcast. It's like We're Here to Help or something, and it's with one of the guys from New Girl and his friend. Oh my gosh, I am blanking on it, but yeah, I think it's like We're Here to Help or something. That podcast, I'm like laughing out loud. So catching up on episodes of that or The Read. But definitely like, something where I can again laugh and just have a good time vibing out with people that I've never met before, but obviously love their humor.
okay? All right. Now this is a pretty big near and dear question to my heart. Delegate Price, Spotify or Apple Music?
Oh, Spotify, family plan. Got to. Got
And
to.
the only correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, are you with
Yeah.
your mom and your family plan?
Yes. My mom and my friend are on it. So yeah. Why would you not do that? I don't know. And then you get the wrapped at the end of the year. Like, come on.
It's the best part. I love seeing my stats. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of music, who's the top played artist on your Spotify app?
So if you know anything about ADHD, you know that we might play the same two songs like over and over and over. So like on my Wrapped, I'm usually in like the top 1% of listening for my person. But let's see. Okay, right now, it's probably Glorilla and Doechii.
I fell in love with you a little bit more. That's my own heart. Love it so much. Okay, okay. Aliens visit you in your sleep and they tell you they can answer one question and one question only. What you asking
Can you take me back with you?
them? Okay.
I am so tired of this mess. What y'all got going on? When we
Leave.
going? When we leaving?
Delegate Price says maybe relocation is the move.
I'm open. I'm open. I would still keep my house in the 85th so I could come back, and do the biz. Don't worry, y'all. But I just, I would love to see what it's like out there.
Okay, all right. Well, you do that and you report back. Send me a little telegram. Let me know.
Gotcha.
I'll move if it's cool.
Gotcha.
What is the perfect day to you? What does that look like?
It can be wherever, doing whatever, just so I don't have to make any decisions.
Okay, I know that's right. Embarrassing moment in your life so far?
Oh my gosh. So this still replays in some of my dreams, but I played soccer all throughout my life, but when I was in elementary school and I was playing at the Y and it was indoor soccer and I scored in the whole wrong goal. I scored in our own goal and had the nerve to do a celebration dance. And my brother just came over to me and like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, in elementary school terms, what the heck? Like, what are we doing? And I still have that replaying in my brain. And so luckily, my most embarrassing moment is either behind me or unfortunately ahead of me. That is when I tell you the dedication to my celebration dance, it was really embarrassing.
Oh, now I want to search the internet and find your little.
Oh, no. I'm old. So it is not on the internet. That is in my dad's like VHS collection somewhere. Not for the internet's consumption.
My goodness. At least you made it in a goal though. You had some.
Kind of, yes.
Okay, all right. Moving on from the most embarrassing moment. Well, you just told us. Can you dance? Can you break out a little dance move for the audience?
Negatory. That will not be happening because I used to dance prior to Instagram and TikTok, and now Gen Z is just, I mean, y'all got some coordination that I've never known. I got a mean two-step that I break out for wedding receptions
Okay.
and in the comfort of my own home. But there's nothing I could do that is anything close to the challenges and things that people are doing now. So I'm gonna keep that to myself.
All right. Playing it safe. That's okay. If you weren't working in politics or in movement spaces, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
So I think all of life is political. So as soon as you wake up and start breathing, it's politics. But I hear your question. I would probably lean into the ministry and I have my educational background is in philosophy and religion. And so I would probably lean into those ministry spaces.
Okay, I love that. What's your favorite city in Virginia? You're not allowed to say your own.
Okay, so not because of politics and not because of anything that is happening, like devoid of anything other than the views, it would be somewhere out Shenandoah, like in the Shenandoah area. Like I love mountains. I love just, just the views that they have out there from Skyline Drive. We're not going to talk about renaming buildings to Confederate names. We're not going to talk about none of that, but just based off the views and like what you can really see about Virginia and some of the orchards. So that would be, especially in the fall. Oh my gosh, I am so basic. This is really ringing true right now. Oh
You are
gosh.
not, you love what you love, and that's why we love you. I will definitely be making a trip out
You
to
should. You
Doa,
should. Yeah.
passing those schools and going to go see the mountain.
Right. Just stay focused on the drive and the scenery.
For sure, for sure. What's your favorite go-to meal?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So dopamine is important. And so it is my forever dopamine food, and that's chicken nuggets and fries. I do know how to be prim and proper at the fancy schmancies. But if I can't get to or shouldn't get to the chicken nuggets and fries, then it's probably like uh butter chicken with a veggie samosa,
Okay.
but American mild.
Okay. Okay, me for
Yeah.
sure. I like that. I like that answer. Some people may not know, but you actually come from a family of politicians. Can you talk to us about your role in working alongside your father, former mayor McKinley Price, as his chief of staff?
Yeah, so my when I was born, my uncle was actually in the House of Delegates. And so my whole life I've seen people being political. And so I got into my first campaign when I was tall enough to sit at the table and help fold letters. Because back then we were like on a budget and we were folding letters to send out. So I've definitely been in the campaign world. So as I grew up, I knew when my dad was running for mayor, I wanted to be a part of that. So I was his campaign manager, and he won. And once he won, I was his chief of staff and making sure that the mayor's office staff and the campaign staff and the volunteers and everybody were all working. I also was helping at the dental office because he's a dentist. So I was just kind of making sure everything was seamless so that the patients got what they needed, the constituents got what they needed, he got what he needed, my mom got, her time. And so just making sure. And I think I wanted to make sure he was also taking care of himself. So that was amazing. And my dad and I get along. So we work well together. I worked in and out of his office for over a decade. So like we think alike. I can anticipate, his needs. So it was really great. But I think the most fun thing was just really seeing the amazing support that he got. And then when it was my turn to run, I kind of backed out from, his office and things and set up my own office. But he was mayor for I think it was 12 years. So just watching what he was able to do for the city, that it was my pleasure to be up front and helping him with that.
That's incredible. You don't often hear about, daughters helping their fathers go on to win campaigns and things like that. And then going over to take over the legacy themselves. Like, that's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful to hear about.
Oh, thank you.
You have been kicking ass all on your own as delegate of the 85th district, previously of the 95th district of Virginia since 2015. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your young delegate self?
Ooh, she was so bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to like change the world. I still remember my first big mistake. And so I think my reminder to her would be trust no one and read everything for yourself. So there was a letter in support of a pipeline that within like my first 30 days was given to me with a very one-sided executive summary of everything. And it was presented to me as like not an option, like this is just a formality, so just sign it. And I didn't ask enough questions. And just you really have to come up here knowing that everybody has an agenda. Like every single person has an agenda, and that agenda might be, for the people and for movement work, but everybody has an agenda. And if you don't have your own agenda, be very clear on it and do everything that you can through the gaze of that agenda. You can get, swept into someone else's agenda. And so I read everything. I don't trust, I'll listen, but I have to verify information. And then I think just for the other part of like the work-life balance, striving for preparedness and not perfection. just to make sure like there's no such thing as being a perfect delegate. There's no such thing as being a perfect person, but you can be prepared. And so that shift in mindset that I eventually got, but it was a little bit later. I wish I had had that a little earlier. So that's what I would tell her.
Thank you so much for sharing that. In 2020, you were appointed the vice chair of the Privileges and Elections Committee, and you held that position for 2 whole years before your most recent appointment as chairwoman by Dawn Scott last year. Can you tell us how these kinds of decisions get made?
Yeah, so the chair and vice chair position are determined by the speaker. So when I was vice chair of privileges and elections, that was under Speaker Philicorn. And most times I've heard a couple of things that are into the conversation. And I can say that Speaker Don Scott was absolutely fair and looking at, hey, does the person know what they're talking about? Like there's got to be some sort of expertise within the issue areas that the committee kind of talks about and works with, and the other part honestly is seniority. And so that's when you see a lot of the people that are chair, they've been here for the longest in the Senate. I believe is the chair of rules, or I think it's the chair of rules, because I know Senator Locke was really involved with that, but in the House side it is the speaker. And so I have been involved with voting rights, elections, and that since I was in high school, and really getting to know like deep dives into policy. Some of my first bills were, dealing with redistricting criteria, working with New Virginia Majority. And so I think I have proven myself over my previous years that privileges and elections is where my heart is. And so to go from being on the Privileges and Elections Committee from day one, then becoming vice chair, then getting kicked off as a form of, I guess, punishment by the Republicans, Speaker Gilbert, who we had a big laugh about it because he now is on the committee where I'm now the first Black woman to serve as chair of the House Privileges and Elections Committee. So that trajectory has been wild. And the previous chairs that, I've learned some from everyone, but yeah, so it was interesting, but those decisions are up to the speaker, and that's why that position is so important.
Thank you so much for taking us through the ins and outs of those decisions.
Yeah.
Can you break down can you break down the role of the chair and vice chair in committee?
Yeah, so committee chair basically decides, and under Speaker Scott, it might be different under, different speakers, but under Speaker Scott, we were given a lot of leeway and latitude because, he understood that we were, the experts in our subject matter, of course, in consultation with him and Leader Herring and Chair Tran, but basically deciding which bills would get docketed, when would they get docketed, and then making sure that the meetings go along with, Robert's Rules of Order, the rules of the House, our Constitution, all of that, and making sure that there's respect in civil discourse, because we're going to, of course, disagree, but there will not be disrespect, at least in my room, and also making sure it's efficient because session is so short when we have so many bills to hear. So making sure the subcommittees are running on time, making sure, the dockets are really handling the workload, and then having to make hard decisions sometimes with carrying bills over, or, writing letters to different commissions to make sure they study something before we take action on a bill. So those kinds of things are decided by typically by the chair, and then in consultation with the subcommittee chairs, and with the vice chair. And then the vice chair is there to take over should the committee chair need to run from the room or can't make a meeting because the trains are still gotta, they still gotta run on time. And so my vice chair was Kelly Converse Fowler from Virginia Beach for the P&E committee, and then wonderful, amazing subcommittee chairs that were there to help as well.
How was your experience this year as chair of the P&E committee?
It was interesting. It was definitely interesting. As chair, You attend all of the subcommittee meetings. So that was some bright and early mornings and some late evenings. So it was definitely some additional time that I had to give, and then, making sure that I read everything and was prepared. So, but I think I ran a fair meeting. I think I ran an efficient meeting. I did hear that feedback from some of the members on both sides of the aisle, even the ones that, their bills didn't get through, Democrats and Republicans, right? But I like to make sure that even if you disagree with me, you understand why I do what I do. And I like to teach as I move through. And so I think some of the newer members learned a lot. So I thought it was a great experience. And we also killed all the bills that I think would have rolled back better access to democracy. So that was also a plus for me. But it was definitely a learning experience, but also a teaching experience.
I love that. It's so great when you get both. I feel like both go hand in hand.
Right, absolutely.
Was this experience different from your experience as chair for P&E versus chair for other committees that you've chaired, like the Behavioral Health Subcommittee of the House and Health, Welfare and Institutions, and the Voting Rights Subcommittee?
Yeah, so subcommittee chair, you're really like focused on running the meeting, and the House subcommittees are where the majority of the conversation actually happens, right? So your public testimony, your experts, and your PowerPoints, or any of that happens in subcommittees. So I think having to go to all of the subcommittees, I had my finger on the pulse of what was happening in all of the subject areas. So we had like campaign finance, proposed constitutional amendments, the gubernatorial appointments, and then election administration. So when you're that subcommittee chair, you're just focused on that like mini subject area as opposed to all of it. And the other thing too, I think the behavioral health is still, for the most part, one of those topics that is bipartisan, nonpartisan. Like we have really done well to protect that from being a partisan fight. Not so much with P&E. Like there's one party that's standing up to protect democracy, and in my view, there's another party that's trying to undermine it. And it's very clear, we're going at it from two different realms, and lots of talking points, lots of lines in the sand, where I think before behavioral health, my focus was on making sure that those that lived at the intersections, those that live in service with the institutions that the state runs, and those that needed us the most, that their voice was heard. And so it was a little bit different, but I think it just because of the subject matter difference.
Okay. You are a highly awarded delegate, and I mean highly. Going down your list of accomplishments and awards is like scrolling through the credits on a major film, and I am not exaggerating. From Greek of the Year, from your sorority, aka, go ahead, Shaw, one time for your girl.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not getting me in trouble. And my Mid-Atlantic Regional Director is about the rules and business. Absolutely not. But yes, I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay, all right. From Greek of the Year to being inducted into the Hampton and Newport News Community Services Board Hall of Fame. I know it's hard to choose, but if you have an award that holds an extra special significance in your heart, can you tell us what it is?
Probably. Okay. So the Marguerite Adams Award is a community service and social action award. Greek of the Year is like with your chapter. And so I'm in the Newport News chapter, Lambda Omega. There are like 200 of us, which is still a large number. And I love, love, love. I was chosen as Greek of the Year twice by my sorority sisters. But the Marguerite Adams Award is for the entire Mid-Atlantic region of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and that's all of Virginia, all of North Carolina, like the whole state, all the AKAs in there. And it can go to an AKA or a not AKA. And so the fact that my sorority sisters chose me for that, it was pre-pandemic. I'm blanking on the year, maybe 2019 feels right. But to stand up in front of a room of more than 1,000 people and be congratulated on my award. And what made it so special, my uncle, Congressman Scott, my dad, and my mom have also gotten that award as well. So for me to be the fourth person in my family to get it in that same Mid-Atlantic region was just like, oh my gosh, okay, like I'm doing the work, I'm following in their footsteps, but also getting honored for my own work. And so some people are like, of course your sorority sisters chose you. But no, if you know anything about my sorority sisters, we are harder on our own than we are anybody else. Like everybody else can get a pass, but they demand of me excellence, and to know that they have felt in some ways that I have risen to that expectation. I mean, just, it's really, really cool when people who helped raise you can say, okay, you're an adult, you're doing what you're supposed to do, keep going.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That makes my heart warm. I can only imagine how it makes you feel inside.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears and go ahead and talk about the 2024 sessions, shall we? How did
Sure.
you feel about this session, knowing what was on the line for this year?
So there was a lot on the line. And I think to start off, just reminding people how historic the election to get us to the session, but how historic the session was. So we had our first Black Speaker of the House, Don Scott, like ever. And then we had so many Black women in positions of power. Where the first ever Black woman to be the chair of Senate Finance, and Senator Lucas. And then you had Delegate Herring, Senator Locke, and then you got chair of P&E and the House and the Senate, both like there were just so many people that I've worked with and that I trust and that I know, am getting to know and know, that were in these key positions, that when we had meetings, we were just really vibing and like agreeing and being able to work through disagreements. And so I think in the broader sense of the word, yet like specifically the speaker, but also in the broader sense of the word, the leadership to me is what really stood out. And there are tough decisions when you have the Senate Democrats and you have the House Democrats, and we're on the ballot more often than they are. So we, might in no derogatory terms at all, but just by necessity, we might have like the people's voices at the forefront of our minds because we're always running for re-election or whatever. And so just they have some of the wisdom of like some of the long-term changes that need to happen. And so being able to come to some agreements between a varied array of opinions and personalities and all of that. I think it happened, and we did it in a concerted effort. I would venture to say we were more together and more organized than we were previously when we had both houses in the majority in 2020 and 2021. But I mean, just amazing legislation that got out of the House and the Senate. And then, they met their fate at the governor's desk, and a lot of good bills were vetoed. And the governor can brag about having the most ever, but it's real dumb to brag about vetoing people's access to safe and fair housing, people's access to a healthy environment, people's access to safer neighborhoods with gun safety measures that both Democrats and Republicans agreed on. So his bragging looks real dumb to me when I'm thinking about, like the folks back home that I represent, who really needed some of these changes, who've been waiting for these changes, fighting for these changes and working on these changes, but are not deterred because the governor gonna be out the door soon. And so they know there's with every election there's new opportunity. So I think even with some of the vetoes, the national lens is on access to contraception and, women's reproductive health care and access to reproductive health care for everyone. While he's bragging, he put a spotlight on Virginia that may not be the best for him and may be able to help us in the 2024 elections and the 2025 elections. And so proud of the work we did, inspired by the people that came to testify, the peoples whose lives and stories are where we get the ideas for these bills. loving my colleagues' work and dedication, still continuing to help push some of my colleagues to understand, what working class people of color really do need, and I will always push my party to answer to actual lives and real people and real concerns. But I'm proud of what we did within our realm, amazingly proud of the budget and how much of the budget that was passed and signed looked like the conference report that Senate Democrats and House Democrats put forth, and our priorities that touch actual people's lives and the focus of actual people in our work. Really proud of that. I'm taking credit for what I did. He can take credit for whatever he chooses to take credit for, but it just looks real to me, real foolish that you're taking credit for your line in the sand being leaving federal dollars on the table for poor people to weatherize their homes for lower utility bills. Like, that's your line in the sand out of all the lines in the sand you could pick, and that's what Reggie is, right? That's like, you pulled us out of Reggie and left federal dollars on the table that could help poor people weatherize their homes, get their homes up to speed so that their utility bills could go down. You fought against that illegally, by the way. Yeah, so we have completely, I think, let people know at least where we stand. So that was great.
So refreshing to talk to a politician who just gets it. If you're anything like me, I know you're eager to hear everything that Delegate Price has to say. So jump on over to part 2, where we'll be getting into a lot more of legislative session this year. Also, before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe and share to any and everyone who's interested in all things progressive Virginia.